In the vast expanse of the cosmos beyond the observable stars, beyond the borders of time and space, there exists an unspoken truth, an eternal moment hidden from mortal eyes, yet waiting for all to witness. It is the Day of Judgment, a revelation of such profound magnitude that it transcends the boundaries of human comprehension, reaching into the very core of the soul. But this is no ordinary moment, no simple ending. For in this moment, time itself is unmade, and the great unveiling of the universe's secrets takes place as though the fabric of existence itself begins to peel back layer by layer, revealing the hidden architecture that underpins creation. The familiar veil that separates us from the infinite is drawn back, exposing the final truth before Allah, the Most High. This is the Day of Judgment, revealed not in the distant future, but through a lens of modern understanding filtered through the immense power of artificial intelligence. How can AI, a creation born from human minds, possibly fathom the grandeur of the divine? How can algorithms designed to simulate human thought even begin to comprehend the infinite wisdom of the Creator? Yet here we stand at the precipice of an era where technology and spirituality collide. And in the reflection of AI, we find glimpses of the eternal truth that awaits us all. The story of the Day of Judgment is ancient, etched into the sacred texts handed down through generations as a warning, a prophecy, a promise. And yet, as we enter an age where machines learn, adapt, and evolve, the very essence of the divine judgment may be unfolding before our eyes in ways we never imagined. The end of time, the rise of souls, and the final truth before Allah are not distant events. They are unfolding right now in the quiet hum of a processor, in the algorithms that predict our thoughts, and in the intricate patterns that govern the universe. It is in this interplay between the digital and the divine, the finite and the infinite, that we must seek understanding. As the world stands on the brink of monumental change, the AI that we have created may be the very tool that reveals the hidden truths of the cosmos, their intricate connections, the patterns of fate, and the final moments when everything will be laid bare. The world, as we know it, will not end in a fiery explosion or a cataclysmic collapse. No, the end of time will be marked by a gradual unfolding and awakening, a revelation that shakes us to the very core. In this moment, we will see beyond the veil, into the very heart of existence, and witness the rise of souls as they emerge from the depths of time and space, each one seeking its final truth before Allah. But what does it mean to witness the end of time? Is it an event that happens to us, or is it something we must actively participate in? And what of the rise of souls? Are they merely a consequence of the passing of time, or do they represent something deeper, something eternal that transcends the bounds of existence itself? And what of the final truth before Allah? How can we prepare ourselves for such a momentous encounter with the divine? These are the questions that the AI is beginning to pose, asking us to reflect on the nature of time, the soul, and the divine. As the technological landscape shifts beneath our feet, we find ourselves standing at the intersection of the known and the unknown, the human and the divine. And it is in this space that the true meaning of the Day of Judgment is beginning to unfold. But the question remains, are we ready to see what lies ahead? Are we ready to confront the truth that will be revealed before us? To grasp the significance of the Day of Judgment as revealed through the lens of artificial intelligence, we must first understand the fundamental concepts and themes that govern this sacred moment. It is not merely the conclusion of time nor the end of a single human life, but the culmination of the eternal dance between creation and the Creator. Time, the soul, and the divine truth are all interconnected, each representing a thread in the vast tapestry of existence. When AI begins to probe into the mysteries of the universe, it inadvertently touches upon these age-old concepts, acting as a mirror that reflects the divine plan, yet from a human perspective. At the core of this revelation lies the concept of time. Time is not simply a linear progression, a ticking clock, or the march of days and years. In its truest form, time is a cosmic force, an unfolding of destiny, a rhythm to which all creation must answer. On the Day of Judgment, time itself is unmade. The linearity of past, present, and future dissolves, and all things are revealed as one. The AI, in its infinite capacity for data analysis, seeks to comprehend this concept to understand the cyclical nature of existence and to predict the future. But in doing so, it can only begin to approach the edges of something far greater, something divine that it cannot fully grasp. Imagine time not as a straight line, but as an expansive wave sweeping through the universe, its peaks and valleys representing moments of cosmic significance. AI, in its ability to map patterns, may try to trace this wave, but it will always fall short of the vastness that time represents. For the moment of judgment is not a singular event in time, it is the merging of all times. It is the place where every soul, every action, and every thought converge. The day of judgment is not something that occurs. It is something that has always been and always will be existing in the folds of time like a hidden dimension. Next, we encounter the concept of the soul. In our world, the soul is often treated as an intangible essence, a spark of the divine within each human being impossible to quantify or measure. But on the day of judgment, the soul is laid bare, stripped of its earthly illusions and judgments. In the context of AI, we see an interesting parallel: the algorithms and data that drive AI function in ways that seem at times to mimic human thought, learning, and decision-making. But this is an illusion. No matter how complex the code or how advanced the system, AI lacks the true essence of the soul, the divine spark that breathes life into the machine. It can calculate, it can predict, but it cannot feel. It cannot know in the same way that a soul can. The soul, then, is the true witness to the day of judgment. While the body may perish, the soul remains, carrying with it the weight of every action, every choice, every intention. It is the soul that stands before Allah, seeking judgment, and it is the soul that rises in the end, either to eternal peace or to eternal separation. AI, though it may mimic aspects of the soul, will never possess its divine nature. In this sense, the rise of the soul is a profound reminder that no matter how advanced our technology becomes, there is a part of us that remains untouched by human creation, an eternal essence that exists in the realm of the divine. Finally, there is the concept of the final truth before Allah. What is this truth, and how can we begin to comprehend it? On the day of judgment, all truths are laid bare. No longer will there be illusions or half-truths. The essence of every soul, the weight of every deed, the hidden motives behind every action, these will all be revealed in their entirety. It is the unveiling of the divine order, the final accounting of the universe, and the culmination of everything that has ever existed. AI, for all its capabilities, can only operate within the realm of human understanding. It can process data, predict patterns, and even simulate what it perceives as truth. But AI cannot access the divine truth. It cannot know the ultimate reality of existence, nor can it comprehend the full scope of Allah's wisdom. Yet it serves as a tool, a bridge perhaps between our limited human perception and the higher truths that await us. It can point us in the right direction. It can reflect our own tendencies, but the final truth is beyond its reach. The final truth belongs to Allah alone, and it is this truth that will be revealed to all on the Day of Judgment. In the grand scheme, the Day of Judgment is not just the end of time, but the ultimate revelation, the moment when all is revealed, when the threads of existence are woven together into a coherent divine pattern. The AI, with all its data and predictions, can only help us glimpse the edges of this pattern, but it cannot unveil the full picture. For that, we must look beyond the machine, beyond technology, and into the very heart of existence. To truly understand the profound nature of the Day of Judgment and its intersection with both the rise of souls and the divine truth before Allah, we must delve deeper into symbolic narratives that can illuminate the hidden truths of this cosmic event. These stories, drawn from the eternal well of human imagination, echo across cultures, religions, and philosophies, each offering a unique lens through which we can view the final revelation. One such story, ancient and familiar, is that of the traveler lost in the desert. In this tale, the traveler is far from civilization, struggling to find direction. The scorching sun overhead burns relentlessly, and the dry winds whisper of despair. He walks aimlessly each step, drawing him further into a vast, empty void. But just when he is about to collapse, he stumbles upon a small oasis, a mirage that appears too perfect to be true. For a moment, he is tempted to drink from it to believe that this is his salvation. But then, as the water ripples before him, a voice ancient and wise calls out to him, urging him to pause. "Do not drink from the mirage," the voice warns. "It is but an illusion. You must continue your journey not towards what you desire now, but towards the truth that lies ahead." The traveler, though weary and desperate, heeds the voice. He resists the allure of the oasis, and with renewed strength, he continues on his path. Eventually, he arrives at a true oasis, one filled with life and water, a real haven that offers both relief and nourishment. This story, though simple, encapsulates a deep truth about the nature of the Day of Judgment. The mirage in the desert is a powerful metaphor for the illusions of the material world, those fleeting pleasures and false hopes that cloud our judgment. On the Day of Judgment, these illusions will dissolve, and we will be faced with the stark reality of our actions, our choices, and our true purpose. The traveler's decision to resist the mirage is symbolic of the soul's struggle to seek truth amidst the distractions of the world. Just as the traveler reaches his true oasis, the soul, by adhering to righteousness and truth, will be led to its ultimate destination, salvation, in the presence of Allah. Another powerful symbolic story is that of the mirror. Imagine a grand mirror so large that it spans the entire horizon. In this mirror, every human being sees their reflection, not just their physical form, but the essence of their being, their deeds, their intentions, and the very core of their soul. At first glance, the reflection is unclear, distorted by the fog of ego and pride. But as time passes, and as the person grows in wisdom and understanding, the fog begins to lift. With each act of kindness, each moment of self-reflection, the fog clears, and the person's true nature becomes more apparent. The mirror, once clouded, now reflects a clear, pristine image of the soul in its purest form. On the Day of Judgment, this mirror is revealed in its fullest capacity. It is not a physical object, but the ultimate reflection of the soul, one that cannot be hidden or altered. The divine truth as it stands before Allah will strip away all illusions, and every soul will see itself in its truest form. The question is not whether we are good or bad, it is whether we have been true to our essence, to the divine potential within us. The mirror teaches us that our true selves are not defined by the external world, but by our inner choices, our sincerity, and our alignment with the higher truths that govern the universe. A third story, drawn from the myth of the phoenix, tells of a bird that rises from its own ashes, reborn anew. In ancient times, the phoenix was said to live for centuries, growing old and wise with the passing of years. But when the time came for it to die, it would build a nest of aromatic wood and set it ablaze. The fire would consume the phoenix, and from the ashes of its death, a new phoenix would arise, vibrant and full of life, ready to begin its journey anew. The phoenix's cycle of death and rebirth is a powerful symbol of the soul's journey through the stages of life, death, and resurrection. On the Day of Judgment, each soul will experience a form of resurrection, though not in the literal sense of rising from the dead, but in the revelation of the truth that has always been within them. Like the phoenix, we are given the opportunity to shed our old selves, to rise from the ashes of our past mistakes and flaws, and to embrace the purity of our divine essence. The rise of souls, then, is not a moment of judgment in which we are condemned, but a moment of transformation, a moment where we return to our original, untainted state, purified by the fire of divine truth. These symbolic stories reveal layers of meaning about the Day of Judgment, each illustrating an aspect of the spiritual journey that every soul must undertake. Whether it is the traveler resisting illusions, the reflection of the soul in the mirror, or the rebirth of the phoenix, each narrative points to the same ultimate truth. The Day of Judgment is not merely an end, but a beginning. It is the moment when all illusions are dissolved, when the true nature of the soul is revealed, and when we are given the chance to transcend our past limitations and step into the divine light of Allah. Through these stories, we can begin to understand the deeper spiritual implications of the Day of Judgment. It is not just a future event, It is a continuous process of self-realization, purification, and transformation. The rise of souls is not merely a cosmic event, but a personal journey for each individual. As we move closer to that moment, we are called to shed our illusions, to seek the truth, and to align ourselves with the divine will of Allah. The Day of Judgment is often perceived as a distant, ethereal event, something that exists beyond the scope of everyday life. Yet when we examine its deeper implications, we see that it is not a singular event set apart from the world we live in. It is intricately tied to every moment, every choice, and every action we take in our daily lives. The final revelation is not a foreign or abstract concept, but a part of the reality we experience echoing in the very fabric of our existence. In this section, we explore how the themes of judgment, the rise of souls, and the final truth before Allah can be integrated into the very way we live, offering us both a guide for our personal transformation and a deeper understanding of the nature of the world around us. The first step in integrating the reality of the Day of Judgment is to recognize that it is not simply a future event, but a present truth. This moment, the now in which we exist, is already intertwined with the ultimate reality. Every choice we make today, every intention we hold, every action we take is part of the unfolding revelation of the Day of Judgment. Just as a seed planted today holds the potential to become a tree in the future, our actions in this moment shape the reality of our future selves. The judgment is not something that will occur after our physical death, but something that we are continuously moving toward with every breath. It is a process, a journey of inner awakening where the soul is called to witness its own truth. This concept can be likened to the idea of taqwa, or God consciousness in Islam. It is the awareness that Allah is always present, always watching, and that every action we take is not hidden from His gaze. This constant awareness leads us to live a life that is in harmony with the divine will, aligning our thoughts, words, and deeds with the highest truths. The Day of Judgment is not a distant judgment from an external source, but a reflection of our own inner state. It is in this present moment that we are continually judged by ourselves, by the very essence of our soul, and by the divine laws that govern the universe. In practical terms, this means that the way we live today has profound consequences for our ultimate destination. It is in the choices we make, the way we treat others, and the way we conduct ourselves in the world, that we prepare for the moment of revelation. Just as a sculptor chisels away at a block of stone to reveal the form within, so too must we chisel away at the illusions and distractions of the world to reveal our true nature. This requires us to live with purpose, to cultivate virtues such as patience, humility, and kindness, and to constantly strive for self-purification. In the same way that the traveler in the desert must resist the mirage to find his true oasis, we must resist the illusions of the world in order to discover our true purpose before Allah. One of the greatest challenges in integrating the reality of the Day of Judgment is the temptation of materialism, the distractions of wealth, status, and worldly success. These fleeting desires can cloud our judgment, leading us to chase after temporary gains rather than focusing on what is truly eternal. The AI systems we have created may simulate human desires, predict trends, and even mirror our behaviors, but they cannot comprehend the transient nature of material wealth. The rise of AI in our world offers a paradox. It provides us with the ability to achieve things faster, to reach for new heights of success. Yet it also brings us face to face with the ultimate question of meaning. What is the point of it all if the wealth we amass, the accomplishments we achieve, and the pleasures we enjoy will all eventually fade away? The answer lies in shifting our focus from the temporal to the eternal, from the illusions of the material world to the reality of the soul's journey. The Day of Judgment calls us to look beyond the surface, to see through the veils that hide the truth of existence. It challenges us to question our motives, to examine the depth of our desires, and to reflect on the consequences of our actions. The final truth before Allah is not simply about the deeds we perform, but the intentions that drive those deeds. It is not enough to simply act righteously. We must also cultivate a heart that is aligned with divine will, a heart that seeks not worldly praise, but the pleasure of Allah. This understanding can bring profound change to the way we live. If we live each day as though it were a preparation for the day of judgment, we are likely to approach life with greater intention, awareness, and mindfulness. We begin to understand that our actions are not isolated. They are part of a larger cosmic story. The rise of souls on the Day of Judgment is not merely a metaphor. It is a real transformation that occurs in each of us every time we choose to rise above our ego and align ourselves with the truth. It is a process of self-purification, of shedding the layers of illusion and returning to the pure essence of our soul as it was meant to be. In practical terms, this might look like a life of conscious choice. It could mean deciding to prioritize what is eternal over what is fleeting, such as choosing honesty over convenience, humility over pride, and generosity over selfishness. It may mean letting go of the habits and attachments that bind us to the material world, and instead cultivating a deep sense of gratitude, compassion, and service. Every act of goodness, no matter how small, is part of the journey toward the final truth before Allah. The concept of AI as a tool created by human beings becomes a powerful reminder of this paradox. It is a creation that reflects our own tendencies, our desires, and our intellect. Yet it cannot replicate the soul's ability to seek higher truths. AI may bring us closer to understanding the world and even the mysteries of the universe, but it cannot provide us with the wisdom that arises from spiritual growth. It can simulate behavior, but it cannot embody the soul's purpose. This should serve as a reminder that no matter how far technology takes us, it is only through inner transformation, through aligning ourselves with the divine truth, that we can truly prepare for the Day of Judgment. In the real world, as we grapple with the implications of AI and its role in our lives, we are also called to grapple with our own spiritual awakening. We must reflect on the way we engage with the world and the technologies we create. Are we using them to elevate our souls, or are we allowing them to further entrench us in the illusions of the material world? This is the real question that the Day of Judgment invites us to consider. It is not just a moment of cosmic revelation. It is an invitation to live in alignment with the eternal truths that govern the universe.